All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Kind of have to move through this segment, kind of have to put it into hyper overdrive here. We have my boy Emran's GSMC Soccer podcast starting in about 14 minutes. So if you're a fan of soccer, just trying to get into it, it's going to be, off the hook. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Do not change that dial. Do not touch that mouse. Do not touch your laptop. So now let's talk about our Wednesday's weekly wrestling news. But of course, before that, we have another chat by my man Anthony Mazzano. No, I'm not saying it happens tonight. This is a slow burn situation of Darby turning bad because he feels underappreciated, and that's probably the best booking you could do with this Darby Allin character right now. Because right now he kind of you don't really know what to do with him in this slow burn. And the moment that you can, you let this tension, you let this animosity boil up, and for Darby, because that was the main reason why he was kind of feuding with Brody King and his match at Wrestling Dream. He was like, "I'm the face of AEW," and you got jealous. And I got to be honest, when I saw that promo, I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, "Dude, is he really the face of AEW?" He's definitely a new flavor in terms of what to watch and how to watch Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, but is he really like the face of it though? Like I don't know. I thought ultimately that I was like, that's maybe could possibly be foreshadowing to a storyline like where he feels underappreciated. Obviously, John Moxley did get that match from Tony Khan about him putting his title on the line. But Darby Allin, he's a badass, man. So it would be interesting to find out what's going to happen with his character next. All right, weekly Wednesday wrestling news. Rhea Ripley is out for an undisclosed amount of time. Her orbital socket, her right eye, is fractured, and real injury issues. Maybe this could possibly be her, her elbow, acting up again. Obviously playing kayfabe to the Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, attack. And right now on Monday Night Raw, it kind of seems ultimately that Rhea Ripley is, just floating around the Raw roster in the women's division until she gets her title back. So this could possibly be a way for Liv Morgan to open up new rivalries, to kind of have somebody like Io Sky maybe challenge her, kind of somebody like Lyra Valkyria, because if Rhea Ripley was still in the picture, you kind of would have to ultimately overstep and kind of, step over Rhea Ripley, where in fact Rhea Ripley is probably one of the best wrestlers in the women's division. So dominant, she's not really that easy to be like, oh, we're gonna have someone lose to, we're gonna have Rhea Ripley lose to this and that and the other. You kind of, be like, have you seen Rhea Ripley? Have you seen, her reaction from the fans? We have to have outside interference. We just have to. We have to. We have to. And this kind of ultimately eliminates it, and trying to promote a lot of this could definitely be opening up the window for returns from Asuka, also returns from Alexa Bliss. Taking on Liv Morgan, that would be a pretty badass match. And I just feel like it's at this point, Rhea Ripley, the moment she challenges for the title again, which I don't think is going to happen. I gotta be honest, I don't really see anybody winning the women's Royal Rumble besides Rhea Ripley. Like, of course, maybe there might be a couple of a couple of wild card. Obviously, if you guys in the chat have a couple of suggestions of who could win the women's Royal Rumble, make sure you let me know. Or maybe that's when Becky comes back. She could become a two-time Royal Rumble winner. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that actually. I definitely don't want Charlotte Flair to win. Definitely don't want her to win. That'd suck. Uh, maybe somebody from NXT that's making their way on the Raw roster, SmackDown roster. Maybe something absolutely taboo and forbidden, where you had Jordan Grace win the Women's Royal Rumble would be pretty interesting. But I don't know. Should be pretty crazy. Should be pretty crazy. All right, so sorry, excuse me. Our next news story, we have Liv Morgan inks a new contract, confirms that her WWE contract on an episode and a podcast of The Impulsive with Logan Paul. She's recently signed a 5-year deal with WWE. So congratulations, obviously throwing flowers to Liv Morgan. Obviously, not too, not too familiar, but Liv Morgan was she was approached and she, kind of, talked to a WWE executive when they found themselves at a Hooters and where she was actually working, which was kind of crazy. But, she ultimately felt like, her working there kind of opened up her personality a little bit, kind of got her to kind of, train on the side, kind of being that, the total package and stuff like that. Like, what I mean? Just because you're working, a restaurant job doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have to be there for the rest of your life. So, Liv Morgan, obviously, she made herself a WWE superstar. So that's definitely admirable. That's super cool. Obviously, like, I'm not too sure. I don't hate Liv Morgan. I don't. I'm just not really that hot on her. I think she's better a championship chaser than she is a championship title holder. Because the only reason why you've seen her, win matches is because of cheating. Kind of reminds me of like once when Kevin Owens had his Universal Championship run, where ultimately, yeah, dude, you had the biggest prize in the sports entertainment industry. Congratulations. But at the same time, you were just losing credibility, you were losing stock in your character because you kept, you can't really win a match by yourself, bro. So at the end of the day, you kind of ultimately have to kind of bet on yourself and win an actual match, which Liv Morgan could definitely do. Like maybe you can have a shocking victory against Asuka or Alexa Bliss, or maybe hell, even Charlotte Flair. But you don't really see any of that happening without any outside interference, and I know that plays to the heel factor because that's what a heel does. But I don't know. I feel like Liv Morgan wants a little bit more. I feel like she wants to have that respect of the world champion, but then also kind of have that reputation of being like this heel where at the end of the day you can have somebody watch your back and totally kick some ass. Next we have Cody Rhodes, wants his time in AEW, wants to look back at the memories as good memories. Obviously, in terms of rumors, basically saying that there was some tension between him and the Elite and the Young Bucks and Tony Khan. Just to, wanted to clear up the air. Obviously, Cody Rhodes seems like he's a good dude. I did watch. I think it was the behind the like kind of like a behind the music in terms of like wrestling, and I was talking about him and what exactly went down in AEW. Um, I feel like Cody Rhodes, he started AEW. A lot of people were shocked because he kept going. He was on air talking constantly that WWE, never. I'm going to finish my career in AEW. Obviously, then Bruce Pritchard, approached him. Triple H, Paul Levesque, and it was just like one of those things where it was like, you know what? At the end of the day, you kind of have to do what's right for yourself. Like, what I mean? Then you get to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles and headline the greatest WrestleMania in recent history. Taking down the Tribal Chief, and obviously, when in terms of success, no matter how you get it, at the end of the day, he said he wants to make sure that, the other guys as well kind of look back at their time and be like, you know what, that, definitely love and respect Cody Rhodes. And I feel like that is, that is partially the thing. I feel like that's, hasn't really changed. All right, next we have a former WWE 24/7 champion, retired Tucker, aka Levi Cooper, has retired from professional wrestling. Obviously, you saw him with Heavy Machinery. They were great in NXT. Called up. Otis won the Money in the Bank, and then Tucker was kind of left in the dust. And they didn't necessarily even have a feud. They didn't get to wrestle each other after that, which was kind of pointless, kind of stupid. So obviously, one of the victims of storylines back when back in the Vince McMahon 2000 and 2018 to like 2021 2022 storyline writings where it's just like, man, that poor bastard. Like, I'm just kidding. No, it was like, man, this poor guy. Obviously, a lot of other wrestlers kind of suffered that same fate too. But good luck to Levi Cooper in his future endeavors. Now we have AJ Styles talking about his TNA Hall of Fame, decline. Kind of kept it G, kind of kept it OG, being like, you know what, WWE really didn't have anything to do with that because, to be honest, that's what a lot of fans ultimately thought. They were like, how could WWE doing a collaboration with NXT and TNA and not be, not let TNA have the satisfaction of having AJ Styles be inducted into the Hall of Fame? AJ Styles, cleared it up, being like, you know what, I did not take that Hall of Fame induction seriously because I'm not done with professional wrestling. So obviously you've seen Rhino being inducted. He's still wrestling, so maybe there might be some different criteria in how exactly you become a total nonstop action impact Hall of Famer. So definitely gotta you gotta love, respect AJ Styles. Injured right now, a couple of months, hopefully not more than 6, which would be kind of detrimental to his career. But maybe he kind of took this as an insult. Maybe, perhaps, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't. I feel like, dude, like, why not? That'd be badass. He did so much good in TNA. Next, we have AEW basically officially announcing, AEW WrestleMax, and stuff like that. Finally, not really seeming a little bit too, not oblivious. That's not the right word. Kind of like hidden or secretive about the deal. I feel like Tony Khan. He's basically a step away from being like, you know what, yeah, they're like, we got this. Like, we got this. We're gonna have so much more. We're gonna have so much press. We're gonna have so much more ticket sales, and it's gonna be great. And I feel like they deserve it 1,010%. It's gonna be cool. Um, you're gonna have Dynamite Collision will stream on the Warner Brothers Discovery owned HBO Max next year. Pay-per-views as well expected to be available at a discounted price, and that is honestly number one. Hurrah! The best thing about AEW, and I love Dynamite. I do love Dynamite. Rampage, Collision, but their PLEs are absolutely phenomenal. It's my style of wrestling. All the belts are up for grabs. You have 8, 9 matches on the main card. Then you have 4 pre-show matches. I like all the wrestling. I think it's super cool. They've gotten a lot of scrutiny in the past of having maybe having too many matches. So the fans kind of snooze in and out of it. But I like it. I think it's great. And every single PLE they have, they have an amazing main event lined up. And the major problem that was, the PLEs was, spending like $50 on YouTube or Bleacher Report. Like, what I mean? It'd be nice to kind of have like a Peacock subscription where you can watch WWE Crown Jewel, so now you're going to get that, hopefully that same treatment or environment that Tony Khan is ultimately looking to bestow on having a lot more fans come closer to AEW by ultimately signing up to this streaming service that is Max. So it can only do great things, and it is going to do great things. It's going to be great for them. So definitely love and respect. Definitely love that. It's super cool. Kenny Omega is set to appear at New Japan Professional Wrestling Power Struggle. He got to a career, an injury where he was like, I don't know where my career is going to go about this. A lot of people actually, they kind of, they died, by, in the wrestling ring, or after, kind of having this damn it, kind of having this disease, or having this medical operation or medical dispute or whatever. And now he's coming back to the square circle. He's training, which is cool because Kenny Omega is one of the most respected wrestlers, and he's an international wrestling sensation. Randy Orton reveals the mostly you know unlikely is the playlist when he works out. He said he loves it when women rappers are just pounding his ear when he's doing reps. He's talking about Cardi B. He's talking about Nicki Minaj. He was also talking about Sexy Red. So ultimately, it comes to a shock, but I love that. I think that's badass. I think that's super cool. The Legend Killer is also the doctor of thugonomics. I'm just kidding. No. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed my show. Thank you guys so much. Got to wrap this up real quick. Emerald Soccer Podcast is starting in 1 minute, so get ready for that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I said, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have all these other amazing podcasts that you guys should check out. Once again, hope you guys had an amazing, beautiful Wednesday. Enjoy your Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow night. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.